Followed then by the Rhapsody Euphonium, which was the soloist was Dave Buckley. Interesting piece, Hogarth's Hoedown. Elgar Howarth, at the time of the 1970s, he was writing these little quirky tunes. It was Barney's tune was one of them.
Barney's tune was the bass trombone solo, wasn't it?
Cops and Robbers and things like that.
Pell Mell.
Those type of things really changed entertainment, and it was Grimethorpe that led the way, and it was him, even though he's writing under W. Hogarth Lear, perhaps he didn't want his name to be associated to start off with, but it changed the face of it.
Well, it did. I mean, I remember my first acquaintance with those pieces, as for most of us, was the Granada Band of the Year, when Elgar Howarth was conducting Grimethorpe back in those days. And, you know, what's great about those pieces is that for little miniatures, and, you know, he put a pseudonym to them, as we know, but for little miniatures, there's actually quite a bit of sophistication in some of those pieces. Not all of them, but, you know, things like Red Sky at Night, there were some lovely little pieces that he wrote. And he changed the face of the brass band repertoire. I mean, but we hadn't heard music like that before.
I think you've got to remember that was the very start of brass band entertainment contest.
It was.
The first Granada was 1971, and I think Corey won the first one. And they were all turning up playing Cornet Carol on apparently. There's about 5 or 6 bands played that. That was the height of entertainment.
That's hard,
it's a great wee piece, and it's actually very hard if you're a front row cornet player and all. As I've got the tales to tell about that one as well, I'm quite sure for the past. But Elgar Howarth was the first to kind of get it and start taking it in a new direction, and these are the pieces that he was doing at that time. And I think we all remember that great Grimethorpe recording from 1975, 76, the one with the red cover.
Oh, yeah.
And it had all that stuff on it. It's when it got played, there was a hole in the middle of it, not just in the middle of the record, but my record player. So.
But the great thing is these pieces still stand up. A band can put
Good
these
music,
pieces.
good music,
I mean, Hogarth's Hoedown, you know, great little piece, great fun. It's little cowboy hymns and a barn
Maybe
dance.
there was one called Chinese Takeaway that you've got a question.
Well,
I don't think you get away with that.
They weren't all classics, to be fair.
I got to tell you, not all of them worked, because with Tredegar once there used to be a competition after the European. It was like an entertainment
The Sunday,
competition.
yeah. Right.
We played Cops and Robbers there.
Yeah.
And the flugel player had to come on, and Nigel Weeks was the conductor. Then had to handcuff him, catching him at the end of it, which is great doing that. Now hitting him across the head with the truncheon. All this crowd was loving it.
Forgot the keys.
He dropped the key. For the next 10 minutes, he was trying to conduct the next piece with the flugel player holding on to him. You know, it's like something out of Cell Block H. It was. Don't let him go. Boss, do that one there.
But you talked to Elgar. I had the real pleasure of interviewing Elgar Howarth 6-8 months ago, and you talked to him about these pieces, and you'll say to him, you know, you changed the face of brass band entertainment with these piees, and he'll just dismiss it and say,
I don't think it's a period he's particularly proud of.
wrote them in my tea break, that type of thing.
No, he puts a lot of stuff behind them. He moved on to a more serious kind of band music composition, and some great works that it came from as well. In Memoriam Archaea, I think stands as one of the greatest pieces.
But he was writing those alongside some. I mean, you know, some of those pieces came quite early, and I mean, he was already writing some serious music at the same time. Yeah. So, and you got to remember at the same time, he was also conducting pieces like Harrison Birtwhistle's The Triumph of Time, music by Ligeti. I mean, he was out there at the cutting edge of contemporary music.
People brought into brass bands as well. People like Hans Werner Henze, who would never have thought years of writing for brass band. But Derek Bourgeois was another. We were writing about him in the magazine last week. It was Gary Howarth that brought him into brass bands, and look at the legacy from there.
I think sometimes you're right. Now we forget that those people actually came to brass bands. We're talking about nowadays trying to attract, you know, great composers and figures in music to come to be interested in brass bands. In the 1970s, Howard Snell was bringing these people in, coming to interest. So, you know, there's nothing new under the sun there. I'm talking about nothing new under the sun. The band finished off with the Gale, which is that type of rumply-dumply...
How did you pronounce the composer's name?
I said it was Dougie, but...
Dougie.
Yeah, for those in Scotland,
right?
This is in Scotland.
Dougie.
Is it?
Dougie, okay.
Dougie. Rather, that's Dougie. Wasn't he one of those BBC announcers?
Dougie Donnelly.
Dougie Donnelly, that's it, we have to do that. Yeah. So you had the Gale there to finish off. I'm going to test your knowledge there. It's from which film?
Last of the Mohicans.
And you're going to tell me now, who was the last of the Mohicans? Who was the last of the Mohicans?
Well, it doesn't matter, because he's going to tell us. He's going to tell us.
It was Uncas. Everybody thinks it was Hawkeye, but Hawkeye wasn't. Hawkeye was a chap called Nathaniel Bumpo, and he was the half-brother of Uncas, who was the actual villain.
And I thought it was Daniel Day-Lewis.
And Magua, who was the other villain, who was called because the book comes from James Fenimore Cooper, and I'm telling you all of this out of history now. And his name was Le Renard Subtil, which in French means... If you look at me, No.
Learn
Sounded
they
like the
know.
way you pronounced it.
It's Sly Fox. So there we are. So if you ever want to say that, that's going to be me. So you had a bit of everything from
Yeah,
that program.
it
there.
was a good mixed program.
And before we go on, just before we go back to the hall, for Gresley Colliery, who are band number 2, they'll be coming on with Dave Purkis. They're going to be playing a program which starts off with Herald the Heroes by Craig Stevens. That's going to be followed by the great jazz standard Misty, Errol Garner, arranged by Darryl Barry, and the trombone soloist there is Becca Pope. That's going to be followed by a little bit of Duke Ellington, which it don't mean a thing, it ain't got that swing, so that's a great one. Followed by contrast with a prelude on Lavinum by Jeffrey Nobes, and finishing off with one of the great films again, I think a bit of a theme coming here, Batman the movie, which of course was written by Danny Elfman and arranged by Alan Catherall. So we're going back to the hall for Gresley Colliery and musical director Dave Purkis, so we're handing back now to Simone Rebello.